Hello everyone, so we will be learning the one length haircut today. This is definitely a haircut that you're going to learn and you're going to want to perfect because you're pretty much going to do it on everyone. It's pretty much I guess you could say it's somewhat like a trim. You're going to use the same um, techniques, so make sure that you pay attention. If you have any questions, make sure you're asking those questions and we'll get started. So the first thing you want to do when doing this haircut, we'll do like a little review. So of course, if I wanted to add weight, which is pretty much what a one length is going to do, that I am going to make sure there's what type of elevation? Zero elevation, absolutely. So zero elevation means that it is literally falling naturally from the head. There's zero elevation. I'm not lifting it because once I lift it, it's either going to create graduation if it's about 45 degrees or under, or it's going to create layers and movement. And we're just wanting a one length haircut. So what we're going to do is for control, we're going to section our mannequins in 4 sections. Now with our Kim mannequins, they are a little on the thin side. I want you to take about an inch parting. Use your all-purpose comb to determine what that looks like. You know, those numbers that are on the comb, that's what that is for. It's perfect for that. So using your comb, measuring out that section about a half an inch to an inch, depending on the thickness or thinness of the hair. If they have super thick hair, then you're going to do smaller sections so that you can control the hair. Because at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You want to control the hair. Okay? So I'm going to get my shears. My shears are going to be at the angle that I want to cut. If I am cutting a straight line, then I want my shears to be at a straight line, right? So I'm going to make sure that my shears, my arms are level. They're at a comfortable position, that the head, when you make that first cut, is leaning down just a little bit. That gets those hairs from underneath to make sure that we're cutting an even line. If you ever forget that, you will have to go back and do another cut because these little hairs somehow, some way get lost in the sauce. So when you put your head, have the client put their head down just a little bit, you're able to get all of those hairs from underneath so you're not having to go back and do double work. So what I like to do is we're going to start in the middle, no elevation. We're already going to, during our consultation, we already know how much we're going to take off. So with Miss Kim, she wants to get healthy hairs. You can see her ends are a little straggly. So I'm going to take about 4 inches off. With me taking 4 inches off, I'm using my comb. I'm making sure that I talk to her. I'm asking her, is this okay? This is 4 inches. Yes. Kim said yes. Therefore, I will then cut. So I'm bringing my guide, literally combing the hair straight down, using my fingers to add a little bit of tension. This is going to help with me creating a very nice, sharp, straight line. I'm standing in front of each section. If I am cutting the back, I'm standing in the back. If I'm cutting the sides, I'm standing on these sides. If I see you not standing in front of your section, I'm going to tell you to move. And that's only because, one, you're going to be able to see what you're actually doing. And two, it is going to help you to avoid over direction. If you are standing behind the client the entire time we're doing this haircut, it is possible that you're going to start to bring these side hairs to the middle to try to come to your guide, and that's going to create over direction, which then creates length. And if we are doing a one length haircut, that's not what we want. So make sure that you stand in front of each guide, each section, excuse me. You're standing in front of each section when you cut to make sure that that line is as straight as possible. As you can see, I am palming my shears in between, and I am not putting my comb down. You're wasting time. So you comb it, put that comb in between your thumb and your pointer finger. You're using your shears that you just palmed, unpalming it, keeping it level, as straight as possible, and you're making that cut. Then I'm going to go to the next section, going to bring that section down, making sure that I can see through every section. And I am making sure that I can see that guide. I'm cutting right at the guide. I'm not cutting into the guide. I'm cutting right at the guide. If you cannot see your guide, then you should not cut. All right? So what I want you to do is I want you to put your mannequin into 4 sections. You will combine these two in the back, but I still want to see the 4 sections because parting is everything. So we're still going to work on parting. So I still do want you to do the 4 sections. So you can get started. After you get those 4 sections, I want to see them, make sure that they are straight. Make sure that they're straight because that is very important when it comes to cutting hair. And then I also, once I see those 4 sections and I give you the go, then you can combine the back section and create your first guide. Don't cut it though, just part it and then we'll move on from there. All right, everybody, y'all did an awesome job with the back of the hair. Now what are we gonna do? We're gonna send them home like this? No, we are going to now connect the front with the back. So we're going to take our first section, again, working left to right. I'm going to take the same amount of section that we did in the back, about that inch of hair, using that guide. Again, we are standing directly in front of our section, which means that when you do this haircut, you need to be standing on this side of the chair. You should make sure that your client is facing straight. Make sure that they do not have their legs crossed because it's going to make a difference. Make sure they are sitting straight as possible. If they're in their phone, tell them, I need you to pay attention, ma'am, or I'm going to have to give you a buzz cut. I'm just kidding. Don't tell them that. Just ask them, just say this is a very crucial part of the cut. So I do need for you to just stay as still as possible because I want to make sure that I get this right for you. So just tell them that, all right? So we're using a guide from the back and bring it to the front. Now, when you are near the ear, you kind of lightly, you don't want to bring so much tension because if you think about it, the ear on the mannequin is super flat. So I can bring tension down. I can pull it real nice and straight. And it's not going to affect it. But for real people, the ears stick out. So this is the part where you would judge it. If that person's ears stick out, you need to loosen up on your tension a little bit. Because once you let go and that ear pop out, and this hair way up there, you going to come crying and you're going to come looking for me to fix it. So I need for you to keep that in mind. Even though your mannequin's ears are flat, I do need for you to ease up on the tension. Start now so that you can create that habit so that when you do get on the floor, it's an expectation already, right? So again, I'm doing the same exact thing. This is such an easy cut. The only thing that makes it hard is if you forget your positioning, where you're supposed to stand. You stand right in front of the section that you are cutting. If you are doing that, then you cannot fail with this haircut. If you are keeping in mind where you're standing, you are keeping in mind that there's no elevation because I don't want to see this and you're pulling it towards you because some people's hair is longer. We're doing this is like a medium cut on Kim. If her hair was longer and thicker, and it's way down here, then you kind of tend to kind of bring it towards you a little bit. No, because now you're creating a totally different haircut. And then you'll see these little lines in the haircut. So you have to be very mindful of your body positioning, and you have to be very mindful of how the hair is coming from the scalp if it is in the natural falling position. Okay? All right. So you saw that. I want you to connect the side, only the left side. Once we get that, then we'll do the right side. Alrighty, y'all did an awesome job with this cut. Like a really, really good job. I'm loving what I'm seeing. We will be doing this haircut again as a review, but for the time being, y'all did awesome. From what I saw. Now I'm going to teach you to check your own, so that check your own cut. So how you're going to do that is you're going to literally just take your comb it down, and do the exact same thing that you did when you cut it. Little section by section, and you'll see where you kind of started to get a little bit longer, the little stragglies that you need to get. I need you to do this every single time. You need to check your haircut every single time. Before you get an instructor to come over there and check it, you need to check it yourself every single time. Now, of course, we're going to come over there and see. We might see something that you didn't see. That's completely fine. But I do want to see you kind of getting in the habit of checking yourself. So we're checking that haircut. So that is your one length. I'll show you how to refine it once it is dry, because we can't just cut it and leave it like that. That is what's going to make you stand out if you do a little refining. So we'll learn that. I'll teach you the simpler way, or the simplest way, to refine a one length haircut. But that is the end of the haircut. Y'all did an amazing job. I'm so proud of you.